Repairing a small scooter for my friend's son. This is not a model steam engine video. I show how I made this small scooter serviceable again, as the steering bearing was almost solid and the shaft was bent. As it was not an expensive thing and hardly worth repairing, I just worked with what I had to fix it. The lock nut on the steering was very loose. As you can see, it's a rattle fit on the threads. But the main bearing cap, which also has a nut as part of it, was very tight and needed a spanner to undo it. The problem is finding a spanner of the correct size. I tried 2 adjustable spanners and neither of these were big enough. At this point, I would like to say that in my small workshop attached to the house, I have a large Barco spanner screwed to the wall, but that is an ornament. I don't want to use it. So I'm looking through a box of old spanners to find a suitable size one. As I've just mentioned, the second nut is a rattle fit on these threads, and I only need to move that out of the way to slacken off the main nut. Suddenly I had a brainwave. Why not use a large spanner and an Allen key to bridge the gap? But guess what? I didn't have an Allen key the correct size. Finally, right at the back of the tool cabinet, I found this very old wrench. It is fully adjustable and perfect for the job, and in no time at all, I was unscrewing the main bearing holder. Once I'd loosened it sufficiently, a ball bearing fell out onto the bench. I was expecting lots of ball bearings to fall out onto the bench, but thankfully the design of this thing has a cage which holds them in place, and only one of them fell out. So I put it back where it came from. In this clip you can clearly see the hole in the cage which takes the missing bearing. Now it's time for a grease festival, and I don't mean the musical. This is some special grease that I use. It is very slippery and a very good lubricant, and I've used plenty of it. It's worth mentioning that I lubricated the bottom part of the bearing first, where the wheel is. The ball bearings weren't in very good condition or very bad condition. They were slightly rusty, that was all. But they weren't pitted, and therefore they were serviceable for the job at hand. This is where I ran into a bit of a problem initially. I'm retightening the top bearing holder, and the wheel was very stiff. It's important that this bearing is tight. If it's slack, it will wobble about, and that is no good at all. What I'm doing here is checking the concentricity of the bearing in the chuck of my Smart & Brown lathe, and as you can see, it's a bit of a mess. As this is a cheap Far Eastern scooter, I'm saying to myself, was it made this way? I can't be sure about that. Maybe it's a steering shaft that's bent. I really didn't know. What I'm doing here is tightening up the collar and feeling how stiff it is. With the collar tightened, I rotated the chuck and sort of ran it all in. This spread the grease around inside the tube, and after a while I even tightened the collar a little bit further. It's far from perfect, but for what it is, it should do the job. And here I'm removing the scooter from the chuck. It's time to reassemble it and give it a test on the floor. And it sort of feels okay. It's not notchy anymore. Even though it is a mechanical disaster area, the steering rotates quite smoothly, and there's no sign of any side play on the bearings. This is a good thing, which means that it's more or less fixed. It's as far as I can take it. These sort of things really have a limited lifespan, and this lifespan has just been extended. So I'll put this down to a successful repair. I'm fighting the urge to ride around the workshop. That would be very foolish at my age. Plus, colliding with the heavy machine tools is something I'm trying to do less of. And that is it for this short video. The scooter will ride again. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.